all my clients were coming in with concerns about bloating, lower stomach insecurities, just not feeling good in their body.
Welcome back to the Spring to Life podcast. I'm Caitlin, your host / hormone health coach, femme educator, Pilates instructor, and creator of the Spring to Life method. My goal is to promote feminine body independence and share stories of female resiliency to help you love your body more and unleash your inner superpower, your period. This week's guest is Emma Volrath. She is the creator of Emma the Label, which is an activewear brand. And during her time as a fitness trainer, she saw a need for stylish activewear that helped women feel comfortable and confident while working out, while also helping them to get the results that they need. And she went on to design and create a very unique product. It's called the Glow Band, which is featured in all of Emma the Label leggings. And we're going to dive into the entire process during this episode. All right. Welcome to the podcast, Emma. I'm so excited to be interviewing you today. This is the first time I'm having a product-based female entrepreneur on the business. So I'm really excited to hear about your brand and your product and how you're navigating the space that you're in. But I would love for you to give just a brief introduction, maybe where you're from, where you are now, and just kind of a brief overview of what it is that you do.
Well, thank you for having me. Big fan. I am from a really small farm town in Northern California. I've since then relocated to SoCal, which I love so much. I love being by the beach, but I was just a personal trainer in this super small town, like in the middle of nowhere almost, and just found so many clients that were unhappy with themselves. And I've always been such a fitness person, sometimes unhealthy, like the whole thinspo thing. I was like part of that Tumblr rush in like 2014. And then to now where it's a lot more accepting and inviting. So it's been interesting to kind of be in that space for, I guess, almost like 8 years now and just see how it's evolved into something that's actually fun. And there's not so much pressure on fitness, I feel like now.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that there is a much bigger focus on like feeling good in your body and feeling strong rather than on the just like external factors, or maybe even focusing on the numbers. I know I had to battle a lot with that I was a professional ballet dancer, and all the body image things that come along with that are really difficult to navigate, especially if you don't have like somebody to guide you and show you what the right way is. So you used to be a trainer and now you are in athletic wear, athleisure wear. What bridged that gap? Like, how did that transition happen?
It was not a smooth transition. I'll just say it now. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, well, it looks so good now. I'm like, yeah, now, because I work with people. But in the beginning, I was just using my grandma as my manufacturer and just doing it in her basement. But I'd had no experience in fashion other than the fact that I wear activewear every single day, 24/7, pretty much, when I was a trainer, because I would train for, 5 hours and work out for an hour and then just probably go on a walk. Like, I'm pretty active. And so I'm always wearing comfy clothes. And all my clients were women. This was right before the pandemic too. So it honestly happened at a good time when I started Emma, because I was able to just focus on the business. But right before the pandemic, I'd say like 8 months, I was training every single day, and all my clients were coming in with concerns about bloating, lower stomach insecurities, just not feeling good in their bodies. And a lot of them were coming in wearing waist trainers, these really heavy, bulky sweatbands, and then saran wrap, like what you'd wrap food in. And it was so wild to me, because here you are already working out 5-6 times a week with me. And then you're also wearing these crazy, things on your stomach to help your bloating, or, just to help you look smaller. And I just was kind of overwhelmed and saddened by it. So I wanted to change that. Like, there had to be a product that wasn't a digestible that you had to take, like those detox teas or anything like that, or wear a waist trainer or a corset to work out. There had to be something that was actually cute and good for you, but also just worked, like, and that wasn't so drastic.
I love it. And as you were speaking, I just made this connection because when I was dancing, one of the most popular things, like as a warm up for us girls to wear, was like trash bag pants. And they like trash bag is like treating it lightly because it was actually really thick plastic and these like big baggy pants. And I actually remember wearing shorts that like came to my knees. And when you take them off, you'd just be drenched from like your waist to your knees. And it was honestly really disgusting, just being so sweaty like that all the time. But I also remember just feeling like, oh, I need to like get this water weight off, and it didn't look cute at all. So what gave you the inspiration? So your invention is the glow band. Maybe you can first explain the glow band and then how you got there. Like, what was the inspiration? Obviously, these women wrapping their waist in saran wrap, but how did you translate that into something so fashionable?
So I've also had a lot of lower stomach insecurities. I don't know why, just like from a young age, I've always been like, oh, my stomach. Because I think I grew up looking at like the low-waisted jeans, which I love. I'm a huge fan, but everybody had these really small stomachs. And I was like, oh, well, I don't know if mine looks like that, or it's not, that's not great of a stomach, I thought. And so after also seeing these women, it kind of validated in my head, like, okay, so I guess there is a little bit of a problem here. And the solutions are very, they're very drastic. And so I grew up in California, in NorCal, and the water's freezing. I mean, I guess it's cold in SoCal too. It's just the water's freezing. People think that it's like paradise, but the water's really cold. So I had a wetsuit. And so I knew that the wetsuit kept me really warm because it's made out of a really thick neoprene. And so I cut out a wetsuit just with a pair of scissors that I had, just a chunk of the wetsuit that was already on my stomach. And I went to my grandma, who I love to death, and she believed in me from the beginning. And because everyone else, they were like, okay, like that's gonna kind of look ugly because it's a huge neoprene is super thick and really only meant to be worn in the cold because it is super hot. And so we sewed it into a pair of old biker shorts I had, and it was ugly. Like, I won't lie to you. The product was really ugly, but I wore it to the gym and people were like, what are you wearing? Like, what is that? I'm kind of interested. And so I wore it for months, just seeing if it even was working. And I was, sweating a ton. My stomach was visibly flatter, not, it's not one of those detox teas. And I don't promote weight loss or anything like that, but it's just how I felt because I felt more regulated and I felt just better because I sit all the time because I just work on my computer, and I just felt so much better, less bloated. And I noticed that, okay, maybe I do have a product here that I can obviously tweak a little bit because it looks really bad, but also to something that I can share with my clients. So I started with them first before I actually moved to a website and putting products on the market.
That's awesome. So I'm curious how because the products that you have, the leggings that you have with the glow band are very sleek. They're very chic and fashionable and cute colors. And you can't tell, definitely don't have like a neoprene band around your belly. Like, there's nothing thick there. So how did you get to the material that you use now?
So now it's a recycled thermoplastic, which I love, and it is very sleek and it's super thin, and you really can't tell that you're wearing it or that someone else is wearing it because it just looks like a regular waistband. But I just honestly went through rounds and rounds of samples, and it took about 6-7 months to find it. And it honestly was very stressful because all the ones that I were getting, they were still resembling neoprene and they still felt like neoprene. And I really wanted to get away from that because that's what the other sweatband companies use. And I just knew that there was something else out there that wasn't so thick and heavy. And so then we landed on the recycled thermoplastic, and my manufacturer is such a star for sticking with me because we were going back and forth for months, and I was just like, no, this isn't what I want. And then finally he was like, I think we found it finally. So they sent it to me, and then it's immediately was like, yes, this is exactly what I want.
That's so cool. You had to stick with it to get there. So for the audience, just to give you an idea, if you're not familiar with Emma Lou, the label, She has very adorable activewear sets that the leggings have a band sewn into the waist that has this thermal like fabric that promotes some water loss around the waist without being like cumbersome. And I loved the look of your sets when I first saw them, but I was a little bit skeptical of like how comfortable it would be. But honestly, you don't really notice it until you're ready to take them off. It's very comfortable, very secure. I also love the rise. A high rise legging is always a good idea, I think. And so for me, I'm all about cycle syncing and exercising cyclically. And originally I thought, okay, these will be great for my luteal phase, because that's kind of when you tend to feel a little more bloated before your period. And you also have a harder time sweating. You kind of like retain the heat inside your body. So I love that it's high-waisted, covers like a little bit of that bloat, because we know our belly changes throughout the month, promotes some sweating, but it's also great for earlier in your cycle too, when you like just want to be sweating, to be detoxing. So I think they're just a really great garment to have in general. And just especially, we like to have a lifted waist on the leggings. So what kind of feedback did you get originally when you were you kind of using these prototypes with your clients?
They didn't love the look, which I totally understand. I mean, I was basically hand making them, but they loved the way that it made them feel. And a lot of them were using it during their menstrual phase, which a lot of people still DM me to this day. And they're like, these are my go-to leggings when I'm on my period. And I think that's so fun. Not fun, but like, I love that there's a product that can help them, because I'm the same way. I feel so bloated and gross when I'm on my period. And sometimes I'll just throw on my glow band leggings and go for a walk, and like instantly I feel less congested and I just feel better down there. So I think that was also the feedback from a lot of my clients in the very beginning with the neoprene, was that they just felt like they were getting a better wear out of their activewear. Because I mean, you wear these clothes and they just sit on you, like they're made for performance, but I mean, you take them off and that's it. Like you shower and they go in the hamper. But I wanted to make clothing that when you wore them, there actually was an added benefit to it, because you are already putting in so much work at the gym or going to Pilates, bar, anything, or just going for walks, that like, why not have a little extra added benefit in there while you're wearing these clothes?
Yeah, it's really awesome. And it's such an innovative idea. I think I've never seen any athletic wear similar to this, especially that is as aesthetically pleasing as yours is. And you have really great designs. And you said you didn't have any fashion experience previously. Has that just kind of come naturally, or do you work with a design team?
It's come naturally, honestly. I love like anywhere from the 1950s to the 1990s. Like I really pull a lot of inspo from there. So I'm always on Pinterest and Tumblr, like scrolling just for hours. I don't really scroll on Instagram. Like I scroll on Pinterest, and I just get so much inspiration for like certain aesthetics and certain campaigns, that it's just so fun for me to design pieces and just so many colors I want to do, even though everybody always wants black. I would rather put out colors, but for the sake of everyone else, I have to do black.
I actually love the colors. I usually film my workouts on a black mat, and I find that I kind of like blend in if I'm wearing black. So I love having color options, but it is nice to have a black staple in your closet, especially for like your luteal phase and your menstrual phase, when like you just want to feel good in your body. And I think that that's something that you've really achieved, is you have these really cute designs. I can totally see that like decade inspiration that you have in them, and it makes you like want to put on your workout gear and get moving, even if you're in a phase where you don't really necessarily want to push yourself really hard, but you're getting that added benefit, even if you're just going for a walk outside or something like that. So I'm curious. So you have this whole kind of brand based around helping women feel less bloat, and obviously we've got the physical product. Do you have any tips for de-bloating beyond the apparel? Maybe wellness tips or hacks or things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually wrote about this on my blog the other day because everyone was asking me like what I do. And so I like just made a list, and I think one of them was, I'm trying to think, peppermint tea. I drink peppermint tea a lot. I don't love the taste, but I do notice at night, especially when I drink it right after I eat dinner and maybe I go for a little walk outside, like 5 to 10 minute walk, that I love just winding down. And then it kind of like helps any cramping I have, because I get really bad cramps, especially during my period and even before that. And I notice it helps that, but also just helps me feel less bloated, which has been great. And I think that is a common thing for people to drink while if they feel bloated. And then another thing is that I stretch a lot. I stretch probably like every hour I get up and I'm doing a downward dog or something, not like a full on 10-minute stretch routine, but I'm always like walking around. I'll walk up the stairs a few times. I'll walk outside. Like I probably look crazy, but I honestly makes me feel so much better because I just work from home. And I mean, some days are crazy and I'm running around, but a lot of the days I'm just at home, like on my laptop and at home. So I just love to stretch randomly. And what's the other one? Is it cat cow? That's really good. I think that one also helps a lot. And the other thing is just throwing on a pair of my Globan leggings and going for a walk. Honestly, that's like my number one every day. I live right by the beach, so I always do beach walks, and it just is the best ever.
I love that. I haven't lived by the beach for the last like 6, 7 months, but I miss Southern California very much.
Oh, did you live here before?
I was in San Diego for about 8 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm in Newport, so not that far.
Okay. Yeah. Hopefully we'll be taking a little road trip soon, but miss that beach life.
It's the best.
Those are great tips though. Peppermint tea is, I'm actually a big fan of mint tea. So I think that's a great one. And just getting your body moving. I think that that's such a great point, that you don't have to have like this whole routine, especially if you're starting to feel like a little yucky in your body, but you still have work to do. Just getting up and getting your blood flowing, getting the lymph flowing through your body can be such a game changer in how you're feeling throughout the day. Do you still train clients? It sounds like you're mostly just in your brand now.
Yeah, I actually stopped a couple months ago, not because I didn't love it anymore, but I just felt like I was ready for another chapter. And I'm grateful that I can just do Emmylou. But yeah, I mean, I sometimes miss it, but I go back to Pilates classes and I'm like, maybe I don't miss it.
Yeah, as I'm kind of straddling both worlds as like a hormone health coach and fertility educator, but also still with my Pilates platform as well. And it's kind of like two sides of your brain that you have to use when you're doing both things. But fitness is something that you can always access, and you don't have to be, the one in front of the room. It's nice to be kind of told what to do sometimes.
I know. I miss just like sitting on the reformer, not having to actually like go. It's very nice being on the other side.
Totally. So what is your vision for Emmylou moving forward? What is next for this brand?
So actually next, I don't know if I've announced it, but I'm doing a jumpsuit. And it's so cute. I just got the final sample, so I'm just going to keep moving forward with that. And then working on getting into retailers. I'm in a couple of local Pilates studios in Newport Beach, which has been really fun. And I haven't done that yet. So I've just been like really hands-on with that and going into the studios and talking to people, and because a lot of them wear the Emmylou to the classes. So I always just like to hear their experiences. And then I think just putting out more designs. I'm just going at a slower pace so I can handle it and make sure I really love what I'm putting out, because I'm so picky and I go through like 6 samples for each piece that I put out, which takes forever and people will kind of get annoyed. But I'd rather have a really good piece that I love than just throwing out something that just has a label on it. So just look out for that jumpsuit. It's coming super soon, actually. So that will be really fun. I've never done a jumpsuit before, so this is exciting.
Oh, that is so exciting. And I love that you have a really great variety in your styles and options, from shorts to leggings and like little kick flares and crops and bras. So I am excited to see your new design.
Thank you. Me too.
So you said you're in a couple local shops in Newport, but excuse me, if people are not in California, where can they find your apparel?
So I'm on emmylouthelabel.com, and I believe I'm on Verishop, but it's easier if you just shop mine because I don't have to search, but it's just emmylouthelabel.com. Emma Lou the Label on Instagram and TikTok. And yeah, but there will be more online retailers this year once I get some more inventory going. But yeah, for now, it's just my shop.
That's amazing. That's really great. And I hope that the audience goes to check out what you have, because I think it's a really innovative product. And especially for people that, like we were talking about, kind of feel a little bit uncomfortable about their bodies or don't have that motivation, just putting on like a cute little outfit sometimes is just that little extra boost that you need to just move your body. And that is where it starts. You really start to feel good from. So you're on Instagram and TikTok, you mentioned. I'll make sure to link you in the show notes. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the audience?
I don't think so. I mean, you can kind of just keep up with what we're up to. I post a lot on our blog, which is just on emmalouthelabel.com. And I always give fun tips about bloating, business tips, anxiety tips, just things like that. Every Sunday I post a blog, and then our Instagram, that's probably where I announce most things, I think. But yeah,
awesome. Yeah, I know you're really active on Instagram. You've had some fun little fitness challenges and things that make it like interactive with the brand, which I really love. So everybody go give Emma Lou a follow on Instagram, and we'll be looking forward to what is next for your label.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Spring to Life podcast. Check out the show notes for all of the ways to connect with Emma Lou the Label. I'm linking her IG as well as her store website. Emma was so generous to offer the audience a 15% discount site-wide using the code EMMALOU15. And again, that will be in the show notes, so you don't have to even remember it. You can just click on the link to use it. And make sure to check out the accompanying blog post. I'm sharing some of my favorite de-bloating tips along with wearing Emma Lou Glow Band leggings. And guys, girls, these leggings, these sets are really great. And that is why I wanted to have Emma on the podcast. I found her on Instagram. I found her activewear on Instagram at a time when I was looking to refresh my wardrobe. She has just really quality activewear. The fabric is buttery. The fits are just so flattering, and she's got many different styles to suit your taste. So I highly recommend taking advantage of that discount. Like I said, check out the blog post. You can connect with me on Instagram as well. I'm at Spring to Life Method, but I'm shifting my focus more toward my blog. So if you want to stay updated with all of my teaching and hormone health educational material that I share, make sure to click through to that blog post, scroll to the bottom of the page, subscribe to my newsletter. Promise I won't spam you. I'm just going to give you the highlights each week so that you can stay in the know with all things Spring to Life Method. Make sure you share this podcast with a girlfriend if you know somebody that might be interested in these leggings, and I'll see you next week.